All right, welcome to part 4 of our apple harvest. Again, we left off with the basket, I believe, last time. This time we're going to work on the basket quite a bit, apples a little more. I don't know if we'll get to any of the grass in this one or not, but we definitely will spend the next one. I think part 5 mostly will just be finishing touches and grass. This is going to be probably about 25 to 30 minutes. The last one will be right about 17 minutes. But again, I thought it was really important to keep everything we were doing going so that you could see each step, whether it was right or wrong. Here I'm kind of going up over where that band was, because that band's going to be on the outside. So the inside, those slats will kind of go all the way to the top. So we'll just kind of go through there again. Last time we were using our yellow ochre, maybe just a touch of burnt umber, maybe a little touch of white to lighten it in areas. Now we have the light source coming from the to the right, from the right, going left. So the inside of that bucket, there's going to be, or basket's going to be, it's going to be light because the sun's hitting inside there. If it was coming from the other way, the inside of that bucket would be dark. It'd be in shadow. Right now, not a lot of shadow in here. Right now, I'll start putting shadow in here as we go, and I'll get that separation. Right now, I'm just trying to get some of this base color on. Now we have 2 or 3 colors on these baskets, but we're going to do a lot more detailing. Again, right now, I just wanted to get some of this underpainting or our first layer of colors. And I'll just take that script liner brush here and just start going through and putting those slats where the end and where the shadow line will be. And we'll touch them up as we go. We'll make them look a lot more like, there's pieces of wood missing out of them slats. And we'll just really start working on those baskets a little bit. And like I said, I'm coming back in. I painted this painting, gosh, it's been 3 weeks now. So I got to remember the process. So I can't remember how much time we spend on the apples. But we'll go through them again. I believe this is the series where I decide, you know what, it's time to go to the kitchen and get an apple and use it as a reference instead of in my head. But like I said, I usually do voiceovers on all of my videos just simply because when I'm talking, if I'm going to edit a part, then I have to edit out what I said, and then do I go back in and voice over that? And if you're painting for 2, 3, 4 hours, sometimes just talking gets so repetitive. I think what we're going to do is I'll start working on these baskets, kind of putting in that base color, kind of touching up the rims a little bit, and we'll get ready then, and we'll start doing some more highlights, and we'll start stippling, and we'll start putting a little detail in the baskets. So we'll just watch here. We'll speed it up a little bit. Okay, that song kind of says a lot on this painting. I don't really know what's going on because I keep changing. But anyway, now I've went to a little scruffy brush, added just a little bit of burnt umber just on the tip, just dabbed it in, kind of dried it off so there's not a lot. And now I'm just doing a little stippling effect on that wood. So it kind of shows some of the browns, but that ochre color, that base color is coming through. So now it's going to give those slats on that basket a little bit of definition, make it look a little deeper. We're just going to go around and do this. Then I believe after we get this basket, we're going to really start to work on these apples a little bit, and I'll take you through that process and let you watch it, because then you'll kind of see how it finalized. Okay, we're just going to go back and forth, do some stippling. We'll go in later and add some little grains to it. We'll highlight the dark areas in the slats. Going to kind of look for my basket to see kind of where some light may hit darks. And right now I'm just getting that second coat on, that second layer. But again, I'm just using a kind of a scruffy brush. I think I'm using like the deer foot brush. You could use anything. You could take an angle brush, flatten it out. You could take an old flat brush and just kind of press out where all the bristles kind of go in different directions. I wouldn't do that with your new one or your really good chisel edge brush, but just take an old brush that you can kind of repurpose. I don't want to say ruin, because you're going to use it for doing things like this. This is great for stippling on wood. It's great for leaves. A little bit of everything. So I'm just going to kind of go through. Again, don't cover up all those lights. Let those come through. Let that dark show those lights, and let the lights show the dark. So they work together. Maybe some little darker areas where maybe the wood is weathered a little bit more on these baskets. We'll just kind of keep going. We're just kind of stippling. We will just kind of stick with this stippling. I think it's, I spend a couple, 2 or 3 minutes maybe just doing this, kind of getting some different tones on there. So, I thought about fast forwarding a little bit, but or cutting part of it out, but I wanted to just do the whole process. And I know it shows I got a little thicker up in that area with the paint, which is, I probably did. I wasn't really planning on it, but it's kind of a happy accident, because I want that to look like maybe the wood's a little weathered more. Okay, now we're going to start working on our apples a little bit more. And I'm using a little comber brush here, and I just took a little bit of a red, like a viridian, or a vermilion red, maybe a little of the cadmium scarlet red. Took just a little bit of that yellow, maybe added just a little touch of burnt umber to change the value a little bit, darken it. And now I'm just going to start stippling in light, and I'll start stippling in some other red colors, but this is where I kind of starting to bring that apple. And I noticed my apple that I was using, kind of my model, had a lot of that yellowish ochre color in it. And I'm like, so that's kind of my base in areas, and then I'll go around it. But this is where we start making those apples come to life, and this is what I kind of wanted to show you. But again, we're using just a little different brush. We're using that comber brush, and we're just getting the tips, and then we're dabbing that paint off, or that excess paint, so that we don't get a glob on there. And we're just going to go around, and we're just going to start tapping in those colors, and just keep doing that. And I'll kind of let you watch this process, because really, it was nice having that apple there to be able to look at and see what it looked like and with the light. And I could turn that apple to give it different light. It's hitting it in different areas. Just kind of play it through here, let you kind of watch the process. There you go. I just wanted you to kind of watch. Didn't want to speed it up at this point because I just wanted you to see how it's starting to come along. I'm not worried about those reds right now. I'm worried about getting that little bits of underpaintings. Yeah, I've done so many coatings and I'm doing another underpainting, it seems like. But when I start adding the layers and the details, it'll make sense. Also, as you can see, that some grasses came in magically. And what happened is the battery on the camera went down. And I can plug it in while I video, but it still runs down. It seems like it runs down faster than it charges. So I went and bought 3 spare batteries. And they hadn't came in yet. So it went down. And so I just wanted to continue. I didn't want to do a lot more on the apples because I wanted you to see that process. So while it was off, I just started adding some grasses in. I wanted to seed some of those apples. But at the same time, I wanted to kind of get the grasses in. And you've seen me do grasses over and over again, so I didn't think that was a big deal. And we'll have more grasses. We'll do more grasses in the final video. But right now, I just wanted to keep up working on these apples, getting kind of the highlights. And as you can see, I'm finding different places. And what I was actually doing is setting my apple down, and I was turning it. I had my light source here in the room kind of coming from the right side of where my apple was, so it kind of gave me an idea if I turned it different ways where my light was coming from. Yeah, it may not be the best way to do it, but it seemed to work for me and for what I was trying to accomplish here. But now you can start to see those apples are taking on a kind of a 3-dimensional look, and they're taking on a lot more definition. And now they're starting to get that more apple color. They're starting to look like apples. And they'll get a little better as we go. And just adding a little bit of light up here where I know that light would hit. And I can always tone it down as we go if it's too bright. And I believe some of those we do tone down because we're going to go over them with a little bit of that red color. I'm going to use a darker color, almost a lizard crimson. I'll also mix it with a little bit of that. It's crimson, but a little bit different color. Let's see. Trying to see if I can find what I did with it. I tried. Oops, if you hear a noise. That naphthol crimson. And it just didn't. It didn't. Just didn't like the way it looked. So what I did is I took more of the crimson, added just a touch of burnt umber. I believe I added just a little bit of, I might have added ultramarine blue in there just to kind of change its tone a little bit. I know it's kind of hard to say because I'm going back after so many weeks of that when I did it. I thought that I would have these edited a little bit quicker and I would have remembered all the steps, but in the meantime we've put on a class, we've put on 2 craft fairs, or we've been to 2 craft fairs, we've been spending the weekend, we spent this last weekend too. Yesterday was Labor Day, so we spent Saturday getting pictures ready for some sublimations for upcoming cider days in Topeka. We're going to be there, so we're making up some of my prints. We're going to go on signs and some coasters, tumblers, some shot glasses. So I'm putting my prints of my paintings that I've done, and I'm putting on different things. You know, not everybody has room or just wants a 16 by 20 or a 11 by 14 or an 8 by 10, but they will use coasters. They'll use like little signs, and we're going to make wreaths, and inside the wreath will be where you can hang a sign, and the sign will be a picture, and I'll have a fall and a winter, like around Christmas type, and maybe a spring, so they can, and they'll all come together and they can change out the sign. You can leave the wreath on the door for all year if you want, and you can just put different signs. You can put summer. I know I'll have maybe a sunflower. I'll have a winter, maybe an old red truck getting a Christmas tree or something. And who knows, my fall, it may be like an apple harvest, like this. And that'll be my fall, and that'll be on a sign. But anyway, that's what we've been doing. We've been doing a lot, just getting ready. This weekend coming up again, today's Tuesday, we have a class, so we're going to be doing a class at our local council on aging, and it's going to be more of a impressionist type painting of a cityscape, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Now here what I'm doing is I'm just been using that little script liner brush, kind of going in, and you know where you kind of got that little divot where your the stem of your apple comes out. On the apple I had, it was almost all that yellowish, greenish brown. So I'm just kind of forming that area. Just kind of trying to, now I'm starting to bring where that core is and where that stem comes out. This is what's going to start to really make these apples pop. And again, we haven't even started on the red yet. This is still just we've stippled on our kind of light colors that are under the apples. And like I said, we're just using the script liner brush. If you can see now, it's starting to take on that look of a little divot in there. And we'll put the stems back in. Right now, just getting all those kind of seated in place. starting to bring on that 3 dimension. Starting to see where my light is going to hit these apples, and where there's going to be some dark areas, and where there's going to be some refractive light. And again, most of this is just out of my head. What do I think the baskets? I don't have a tipped over basket full of apples to look at. I just kind of come up with it in my head. I knew what I wanted, and knew kind of with the basket. I think, as this painting gets closer to the end, I think I would have changed up my basket maybe a little bit, but I don't know. I'm happy. I'm happy with it right now, because this is a painting that, even though it's taken me a long time, because I've changed so many things around, really with this painting, if we did this in a class, I think we could do it in 3 or 4 hours easily. Now that I kind of know the process of how I want to do the apples, the process of how I want to do the baskets, the grass. But, we may not be able to finish out the apples. Anyway, we're getting ready to come to the end of this episode, or this part. We're on part 4. Our next part, I'll try to get out here pretty quickly. Again, it'll only be about 17 minutes, where this one turned out to be 23 or 24 minutes. I don't quite remember. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. You'll see the apples. The next video will be finishing the apples, putting that red in there, putting all those grasses and those final details in there. And you're going to start seeing it all come together. Right now I'm just using my little script liner brush to add some shadow. But anyway, join me next week. It's going to be a lot of fun, I promise.